Commissioner
Okay.
Simons, I wanted to talk a little bit about biologic drugs and biosimilars. The FTC, as I understand it, doesn't currently have the authority to monitor agreements made between the manufacturers of biologics and biosimilars. And I wanted to know if you thought it was important that the FTC get that authority, and if so, why?
You mean in terms of like pay for delay and that
Exactly.
type of thing? Yeah, that would be helpful.
I mean, my understanding is that if you look at the authority you have over the agreements between brand name drug manufacturers and generic drug manufacturers, where you can monitor this anti-competitive behavior, the pay for delay agreements and so forth, that you can have a significant impact on the overall cost to the consumer out there if you take those actions. Can you describe a little bit some of the tools you have when you go after those pay for delay?
Yeah, so
agreements?
the statute you're talking about requires that if there's any agreement between a brand and a generic, I think, that delays the marketing of the product, that they have to report that to the FTC. And those disclosures are a significant way in which the Commission finds out about these agreements and whether it gives a rough sense earlier, it tells us where to look for whether these agreements might be anti-competitive or not. So it alerts us, hey, these agreements, it's a brief description of what they are, and we can look at them and then figure out, okay, which ones look like they're problems, and then we go after them.
It's incredibly important. I think there's a study out there that shows that while brand name drugs are about 10% of all drugs that are dispensed, I think that's including biologics in the equation, they make up about 72% of annual U.S. drug spending. So there's a huge amount of money on the line, obviously from patients directly and from payers like Medicare and Medicaid, government payers, that can be saved by monitoring these agreements, blocking these agreements. But it's really critical to get that same kind of authority with respect to the biologics and the biosimilars, because in the same way those pay for delays are decreasing market competition, they're keeping the costs high, that's hurting patients at the counter. And I want to, again, commend you on the work you're doing with respect to the brand name drugs and the generics, but the Medicare Modernization Act of 2003, which gave FTC this authority, as you know, didn't extend it to biologics and biosimilar drugs. So I'll be introducing soon the Biosimilars Competition Act of 2018 to grant FTC that authority so that you can begin to monitor these deals, punish the bad actors, and hopefully deter many of these backroom deals from being made. In the first place, we look forward to any comments you all will have with respect to the proposed legislation, because we do want to give you that authority.
Thank you very much.